Hi, my name is Xiomara Ross, and I am doing my week 6 assignment for the ethical news story through my class, MGMT 615, with Professor Janet Cox at American Public University. Today, I decided to do my ethical story on Equifax since it was a very big scandal in 2017 and it still is impacting citizens till this day from the scandal that happened in 2017. So the 2017 scandal did happen at the beginning of 2017, but it wasn't until later in 2017 that it became public, which is a part of the scandal once we go over the story. And then as well as I got my information from CNBC.com, and the article's name is Equifax to pay up to $700 million in U.S. data breach settlement. So, credit reporting company Equifax will pay up to $700 million to settle U.S. federal and state probes into a massive 2017 data breach of personal information that affected around 147 million consumers, authorities said on Monday. The largest ever settlement for a data breach draws to a close multiple probes into Equifax by the FTC and the CFPB and nearly all state attorney generals. It all resolves pending class action lawsuits against the company. Equifax shares were up 1.2% at $138.88 in the morning trading. The company ineptitude, negligence, and lax security standards endangered the identities of half the U.S. population, New York State Attorney General Letitia James said in a statement. Under the settlement, the company will pay a $175 million fine to the states and $100 million to the CFPB. The company will also establish a $300 million restitution fund for harmed consumers, which could climb to $425 million depending on how many customers use it. While roughly half of all Americans saw their information compromised, the restitution fund is only available to consumers who can show they suffered direct costs from the breach, either as a victim or fraud by setting up credit monitoring services. So affected consumers will also be eligible for 10 years of free credit monitoring from Equifax, and the company agreed to make it easier for consumers to freeze their credit or dispute any inaccurate information to credit report or on the credit reports. Regulators on Monday said Equifax broke laws protecting consumers from unfair and deceptive practices by failing to provide reasonable security for a massive quantity of sensitive personal information that it stored, and by deceiving consumers about the strength of its data security program. So they really did preach that they were very secure in their processes. Equifax, one of the three major credit reporting companies, disclosed in 2017 that a data breach had compromised the personal information, including social security numbers, of 143 million Americans. And so that doesn't include Canadian consumers. So with American and Canadian consumers, we're looking around 147 million consumers that were affected in total. The hackers behind the breach have never been identified by authorities, and the scandal sent the company into turmoil, leading to the exit of its then chief executive, Richard Smith, as slowness to disclose the breach and security practices were challenged by lawmakers and policymakers. So the then chief executive did not provide the information needed at when it happened. He provided it like months after the breach, where some of the internal executives were charged for I have to look it up, but they were charged for like selling their stocks at earlier, knowing that they knew about the breach prior to. So just to finish off the article here, they question how private companies could amass so much personal data, setting efforts to bolster consumers' ability to protect and control their information. The Senate Banking Committee is currently working on legislation that would require companies to better protect consumer data. While I'm happy to see the customers who have been harmed as a result of Equifax's shoddy cybersecurity practices will see some compensation, we need structural reforms and increase oversight of credit report agency in order to make sure that this will never happen again. And this was said from Democratic Senator Mark Warner. Equifax's new CEO, Mark Bedore, said that settlement was a positive step for the company that would allow it to focus on investing in technology and security. Equifax took a $690 million charge in the first quarter to cover the anticipated fine. As a part of the settlement, the company has agreed to bolster insecurity practices and have its policies assessed regularly by a third party. So just some key points that we get from the article is, Equifax will need to pay at least $575 million and potentially as much as $700 million to settle allegations over its massive 2017 data breach. Also, we see that this is the largest ever settlement for a data breach that draws to a close multiple probes into the Equifax system by the Federal Trade Commission and the Consumer Financial Protection Board, and also bringing in all state attorney generals to work together. And also the settlement also revolves pending class action lawsuits against the company, which is what we were discussing earlier, how executives knew about the breach prior of providing a statement, and so they were able to sell their stocks, internal stocks, before the plunge of the word getting out of the breach. So that is my video, or this is my video of me reviewing the Equifax scandal in 2017. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day.